and see how well I can do this.
Is going good.
I'm about to shoot Nazis in the nuts.
Yay.
Well, I'm gonna attempt to. My aim might just be piss poor.
Alright. Have you guys added your voices?
Yes.
Do what I want to do.
Okay.
Alright, well. Let's see. You can't rush perfection. God damn it. I will shoot when I'm damn well ready.
Okay. Think everything is running smoothly. Okay.
Boom! Nut. Oh, what? Me body shot.
Alright, so you guys remember what happened last time?
We went through your death trap dungeon and survived. Yes, yes. Boom! Nut
It
shot.
was not quite a death trap dungeon, but yes, you did survive. Good job.
Testicle shot.
Can you add your voice,
I did.
Spinal? Pretty please.
I added.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I wasn't trying to rain on anybody's parade. It's like finish up that game.
and-
In fact, play a whole nother and finish up that conversation. It's like, but when the game started,
Yeah.
I expect NC to
In 2.5,
respect that.
he just
Shut
wanted
the
to
fuck
say,
up.
like, he wanted me to relate to you. He was not trying to disrespect anything. He was just,
Well,
he was literally
kinda
just, yeah, but he just wanted me to relay that to you. He wasn't trying to be disrespectful. He was
Okay.
just trying to
I
have a
appreciate that,
conversation.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
no
it's
worries.
just I figured he knew y'all had been playing and playing and playing, and I was waiting to run. Maybe
Well, I
he
didn't think
know
we were
that.
starting until 2 on.
No, we both agreed on 9:30.
Okay, yeah, I'm down.
Remember?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I
I
just
mean, it's
didn't.
4 minutes till 10. Like
If
he's
you-
about to walk out of there.
Yeah, if you're good to run without him here, yeah, I'm good with it too.
I'm just making sure everyone remembers what happened. So,
So-
yeah.
And this is up to you completely, but he messaged me, and he was just asking if he could join the party and not, He's not going to be disrespectful. He just wants to kind of hang out with us.
Absolutely. Just no comments.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Just no comments. I mean,
the fuck am I supposed to be looking?
I don't mind people like having. I want people to be involved and have a good time, but there is a certain amount of decor, that comes with being a watching participant.
Yeah. Well,
Like
I think-
Reggie
I
used to
think
do that
he's-
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had to get Reggie in the game, if you'll recall. We
So-
are broadcasting.
Yeah.
Okay,
Do you want
seriously?
NC to add his audio or not?
Ow.
If he's gonna
Ow.
sit here and tell me
No,
act
he
like
just-
a man,
he just said he
he's
wants
about to
hang out.
get removed from the party.
We're just hanging out.
I'm
We're
trying to run a
self-struct-
game. You have no place coming into my party trying to run a game, and you telling me, "Oh, good. At least we're not all like, what the fuck, dude? You serious?" You just tried to relay that you weren't trying to be disrespectful, and now you come in here like that. I'm trying to run a game. That's all.
Send me a
Okay.
message.
Just trying to run a game.
Well, no. I mean, let's just start.
How about you fucking stick around? It's not like
Yeah,
you're doing
let's
anything
just-
else.
All right.
Let's just move on. Let's just start.
Check your messages, and I have got a image of the city that we're going to be coming to. Make sure you can see it. Also, there's an image of the tavern and an image of the temple,
Where
just in case we end up going there.
can we do like a
it should
recap,
be-
like where we at from last encounter?
Right.
Yeah. Just so I know I'm tracking.
Right. So you guys went through the Kobold layer.
Right.
That had
Did we
been
completely
recently-
escape it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't. Yes.
I don't. Did
I
we
don't think
make it
you
to, like,
grabbed
a-
anything.
Yeah. Did we make it
except
to like
for-
a specific location, or did we just get out of the tunnels?
You were back out in the original bandit camp,
Yeah.
which was the mouth of the Kobold Cave. That
Okay.
they thought that was just
Yeah.
like a bear den or something. They didn't realize it was the entrance to a lair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So,
I'm
guys-
tracking now.
So you stole the black axe
Yes.
and the
The one with the
robe. It was a purple
It had
robe.
like black smoke coming out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember I snatched it up
Yeah,
when we
it doesn't
were leaving.
anymore though.
Yeah.
It
We'll
doesn't
figure that out.
anymore. Effectively, it's a level 1 obsidian axe. Yeah, but
Is it race
does anything else you don't know. You don't know, man.
I have a
It is
a
the axe
theory.
of all knowing. Like,
Yeah,
you have-
knowledge
there's
is
no
the
way to
knowledge.
know.
Bring out the
No
bone
way to
crusher.
So, you guys begin after everyone is kind of collected and rested. You begin gathering yourselves together to follow Stewie back to Mary's cottage to try
Wait,
and
Does he
Wait.
just knows the way?
Why are we going back to the cottage? I
Because
thought
we gotta
just keep
deliver.
the princess.
Yeah.
This was 2-5's idea, to go back to Mary's cottage and rest for a day, maybe 2.
We already
fully
delivered the
recover.
princess.
No. You just came out of this Kobold
we
cave and
rescued
are like taking a 5-minute rest,
Yeah.
and yeah,
She's gonna.
none of you
follow
feel
me.
comfortable
Even
about
if we
this.
weren't gonna
Yeah.
rest there, but don't we have this medicine shit to deliver anyway?
Yeah, we have the princess to deliver.
No,
Well,
the
actually,
medicine
did
for the old lady. That's what I'm
Right.
talking
Well,
about.
It was 2-5's idea that everyone agreed to last time.
Yeah.
So this is you guys like beginning to head off towards Mary's. And I forget what exactly he said, but he moved everyone in the end of the last session that should be the course of action.
Okay. I just want to make sure like
And-
we're all on the same page on it.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to rest up, make sure everyone had recovered all their spells, all their hit points, and then maybe get a plan because like these two didn't want to go home. They want to
Because-
stay together. Neither one wants to go to their own kingdom alone.
Right. The original plan was to get the medicine for
Oh, so you didn't send me your
the
message.
old people. Then we found the princess and found out this was all like, them escaping it, and we're like,
I'm not even.
you should take her back to your kingdom, to the guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're
like
like,
they did. They couldn't agree exactly. And 2-5 said, I think we should go see Mary, and then probably after a day of rest, head off to his kingdom because that might be safer. And
Yeah.
I think you agreed with that because you were like,
Yeah.
yeah, let his dad meet her.
yeah, yeah. All right, yeah. Now I'm back. Yeah, I'm tracking now.
Right. Okay. So you guys begin. You want to take any preparation, or it's not really anything to prepare?
Well, if
Whatever.
if I
Yeah.
haven't healed, I've
Go
healed.
ahead.
I'm gonna heal now. After getting
Yeah,
out of that
sure.
encounter.
I thought
Like-
we were gonna rest at least
Hold on.
before we left.
I still
Well,
got
a little bit, but this is not a safe place to rest. That's why, and it's still a trek to get up to the kingdom. So 2-5 was like, well, let's go back to Mary's cottage, and stay the night there because it's getting late.
Is that where y'all are?
Otherwise, you're trekking up through the mountains on the goods road, and there's no real it's not really easy going at night unless there's a full moon, and it's not a full moon. No other travelers are on it right now, and then you would after like several miles you would come upon the merchant camps and things like that. The mercantile district from all the goods that have come up. But they come in the morning most of the time. Hardly find anybody doing a nighttime trek up these mountains.
Has trade drastically changed since the war?
This kingdom has still been getting the same fish it's always gotten. But what has
Like-
changed, a lot of the ideals from Marrakesh have come up into mercantile. So, that same kind of like liberty mindset, and they even stopped paying their guards. Like a lot of the guards that work in Keturah just volunteer.
That makes no sense.
They've really stepped up from their peasant class. It's a different thing. There's high walls. They have a lot of merchants coming in from the south. They maintain the goods roads.
Yeah,
They
but
don't have any
still, that
like
makes
peasant
no sense.
farmers. It's a different kind of
What
kingdom,
doesn't-
Stephen.
What doesn't make sense?
You have to
This is
have.
just like you have to have people. There's volunteer firemen. There used to be. There's
Yeah,
still
but they still
volunteers
get
for the
paid.
army. They'll get
No, they don't.
paid, sure, but they're volunteers.
Yeah, volunteers don't get paid. That's why it's called
That's the
volunteers.
whole point. Yeah, the whole point of the word.
Sometimes they'll they'll get.
If I go to
They
help
get a
at the
little
soup
something for
kitchen,
their-
am I gonna
for
get
work.
paid? No.
Hell yeah, and soup.
It's people just volunteer to be the betterment of their community.
Yeah.
This is basically
payment,
look,
technically.
okay, out of game,
Soup
Steven,
payment.
out of game. This is the realms of men,
You get chicken
and they
noodle
all
soup.
exist in it.
Worth it.
All right, you guys, go ahead.
What? I'm
Well,
joking
listen.
about the fucking.
I'm trying
You're
to explain
explaining
something to
to
Steven.
Steven, and he clearly doesn't care to begin with.
But continue. The floor is yours, Walt.
Um,
I was
Please-
I was inquiring.
please don't
in
make
general.
any comments whatsoever, okay?
It wasn't even
It wasn't
MC that made any
Steve.
comments. It was me.
Yeah. I was just inquiring generally about since the war, has a new power moved in, and there's new trade and commerce that is not a norm around here. Has there been a new muscle moving in and a new supply line?
All right, hang on, I have to mute him. I can't even maintain. I can't even focus. But seriously, if anybody starts talking to NC, I'm gonna have to remove him from the party. This is entirely killing my focus. I cannot focus with him in here snickering at stuff and things. I'm really trying, man. I'm a new DM. This is tough. I'm really trying.
Okay, Bo. I mean,
I don't feel like he's even part of the way respecting what I'm attempting to do here.
okay. I mean, whatever you feel like. Yeah, whatever you got to do, man. Like, whatever you gotta do to get the session going, like, I'm down. Like, I just want you to run your session.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't.
Is he talking? You're talking to him? Okay, that's it.
No, I was talking to you, 12. I was like, whatever you
No,
gotta do.
no,
if you
no.
wanna,
6 referred to him. I said that. I said what I said. Said
Well, you
if
muted
he
him,
starts
so-
talking, if anybody, no, but I said if anybody begins responding to him, I'm taking him from the party.
Okay,
and
well,
that's that.
Steven, focus on the campaign. We're trying to progress the session, so let's focus on the session.
I mean, I've tried to let him be a spectator, but he's not trying to be a spectator. He's trying to be a dick.
Okay, but I'm saying
Gosh.
I'm not against any action you take. Like, I'm trying to enjoy the session too. So
No, man. I'm sorry.
no, you're good, bro. Just,
Okay.
it's-
Now
so
your
that's all I was
question
inquiring
was
about. Like, was there
Yeah,
like,
after
since
the war
was
happened.
there like any
Okay,
new muscle
yes.
that moved in, like a new commerce
So-
or trade that's not been normal around here?
so the only big difference is the area that swept through and took out your kingdom has kind of relinquished a bit of their control, and so the mercantile area has really spread, and it's basically huge. Like this is a
Now, when you say they relinquish control, like, what do you mean by that? Like, they tried to gain ground and they just couldn't, and they just like gave up. And
who's disrespecting my authority as dungeon master and sending NC invites into this party. I need to know.
The party's joinable, 12. It's not
yeah,
private.
I'm outside.
Am I gonna have to block him? If he wants to listen, he can listen to the stream.
you
He
mute-
doesn't have
ha-
to be in this party.
But
He
I
does
mean,
not
have you
have to
muted
be
him?
in the party.
Have you muted
Yes,
it?
I have.
Okay, so look, let's just
This
carry
is
on.
this has
because
now. I'm 20
talking-
minutes into the stream and nothing's happened because
Okay,
because of
but I'm
NC.
saying like let's focus on the session. Like you muted nobody. I told Steven let's just focus on it. We're all focusing now. Like nobody's.
NC, I appreciate if you want to listen to what's going on. That's why I'm streaming. You don't have to be this disruptive to what I'm trying to do. You really don't. All right.
All right.
The Mercantile District has really spread. There's gypsies, pikeys, traveling merchants, all that kind of thing littered throughout the area. It's loosely patrolled. Mostly there has been a like mafioso thing type thing spring up, but it's actually not too much crime happens there. It's not that big of a deal, and in fact, they've
Yeah.
allowed it to kind of encroach really close to the kingdom. So the mercantile area basically comes right up next to the walls, and all the citizens go and get food there. A lot of the working class.
Is it loosely
do a lot
controlled?
of-
Like there's no like determined authoritarian over this area?
Not really, no. It's a loose network of families that control different little, I guess you could call them hamlets, but they're hamlets of, they're like little mobile caravan villages
Right.
with no church, no temple, nothing like that. Just like
No
basically
allegiance
just
to anybody. Like
right, and they're allowed to be there because these guys have like great stuff. They bring in, so they have a lot of trout and things, normal fish that come from the river, and these guys can turn it into stuff. Like this is a food market. There's all kinds of craftsmen and tradesmen and traveling merchants that have come up from the goods road and found that this was a prosperous area and basically just set down their roots here. And
so it's
it's
kind of like a
like
neutral area. Like
yeah, and
trade
it's
happens
very
here,
much
but there's no like one determining person who controls it.
yeah, I don't know if you guys have like where you live, but there's a bit of a growing city type feel, and then all the food trucks can come and go in like
Yeah.
almost like a caravan of food trucks. They'll be in a certain area. This is sort of like that. It's the same kind of dynamic. Like all these people running goods have come up and begun putting down their own roots. because this is like neutral territory because of all the war. A lot of this land has been cleared, and I mean, as soon as like they basically most of the authority in this land went and tore up your kingdom, and a lot of that you don't really you don't know the power play that happened there, but that's an issue that you're having to deal with, like coming to terms with the fact that your entire kingdom got wiped out by orcs that were hired by this kingdom, and now like they're moving over and taking all your stuff. They're acquiring your lands, you know, all those riches and titles and things. They're just moving over, you know, because they really kind of fucked up and desolated their lands and forests. They didn't really take care of it, the husbandry of the animals and things, and so it was easier for them to like pay some orcs, completely wipe you guys out, and then just move into your stuff. And so now all the mercantile people after the war have started to spread out into those empty lands that were kind of decimated by these other people who, as yet, it's King Treble, and they exist in your legendary area. You named it. What'd you call it? Valderheim? Yeah. So this is your family actually came up and were one of the first settlers in this area of Valderheim. And you're one of the older families, and that's why your family were nobles in this area. Like, you took good care of your people. Anyway, the group is setting out south back toward Mary's farm, and as you guys are on the road, you notice a very large bear grazing halfway through the trail. Very easy to spot, doesn't require a spot check.
Just a bear.
It's just a bear. It's a big bear. Black bear. It's not dire, but it's fucking big.
Okay.
Actually, I will require a spot check. Whoever thinks they'll be in front of the pack.
Well, who? You said that the goblin was leading us, so who would be after him, or the whichever one is.
Stewie went ahead.
Stewie.
Stewie's
okay.
gone. Yeah, Stewie's gone. Sorry, but just any one of you guys. It doesn't matter. Just roll me a spot check.
13.
Jeez.
Do-do-do.
You beat a 15.
I have no idea at the moment. My
Okay,
phone
well,
is
he's
being
getting
slow.
a good look. Does anyone do anything?
Sorry. I was changing out my batteries.
Oh, my bad. Did you hear anything that I was saying?
Catch me up on the last 3 minutes.
We're going up a trail, and there's a big ass bear grazing in a field.
I see. If it's a 15, I see it. Like, I
Well,
roll.
everyone
15
sees
on-
the bear. If
Mm.
you beat a DC 15, you also see its cub standing
Or-
right behind it.
Oh.
17.
Yeah, okay, you see it. So there's
Okay.
a mama bear and her cub.
Yeah, we need to like stay far away from that.
What are they doing? Hold on, let me roll
Grazing.
my spot check.
Great.
Yeah,
That's
it's
good.
easy.
Bear?
Yeah.
Is it,
Yes,
does
bear
it look
grazing.
like normal bear behavior, or does it look like something
Yep.
abnormal?
Yep, this is the forest returning to normal.
Okay.
And
Well-
you don't even it's like very common knowledge. You don't mess with a mama bear. You don't need a wilderness lore for that. Mama bear.
I'm gonna turn to the small snake and just slither on by in the grass.
My spot check is 12. So,
You're gonna slither along by it.
No, I'm going to, go
Stick in the
turn to the
grass.
small snake and just slither, so they're not gonna be able to see me in the grass, away from them.
Or
Around
maybe
them.
see
She
you, but
usually,
you're just
usually
suspect.
Reggie, she wouldn't, but that's a hell of a spot check. She starts playing with you, pawing you around a little bit.
Okay.
She had a hell of a spot check.
the bear.
She tried to.
Reggie.
Yeah, she's pawing him around, rolling very low. She's not doing any damage. She's
Well,
just messing
Reggie-
with him.
You're now bait. We're just gonna keep walking.
Mhm.
Reggie's obviously has got their attention, so we'll just keep walking.
All right,
I have an idea.
the
worry, keep
little
going.
cub starts following you guys as the mama bear is distracted.
We'll quit playing with the wildlife, Reggie. Quit playing with the wildlife and do a fucking detect magic.
It keeps crashing, so I guess Fallout 76 is my backdrop for today. What was the question?
Can
I
he
use?
detect
Yeah,
magic while he's in snake form?
Yeah.
Why am I using detect magic now? I
Just do it
completely
because
forgot.
it, like why?
What's that?
Okay, well, like if you don't think this is weird that a bear cub is following you, while
Well,
you're
no,
in
the bear
snake
cub's
form,
following you guys. The mama bear is
Following
playing
you
with
guys,
me.
not him.
just detect magic, Reggie. Like I don't know why we gotta argue about this. Like why can't you just do the roll? Why can't you just roll? All right.
This
Fine,
is like
I'll
the
do roll.
this is like the coo detect magic. Coo, coo.
Hit.
It's like this little voice.
Just cast
coming
the
from
fucking
nowhere.
spell. It's like fucking Tommy Boy, just like for the love of God.
Reggie?
13. That's what's I got.
You don't have to.
And
You
we're
don't have to
fucked.
roll to detect magic.
Alright.
You just
You
cast
detect
it.
magic.
Yeah. Yeah. I,
The world is a beautiful shade. You see energy pouring through the trees, and the life force that exudes all living beings is going through yourself and through this very, very normal bear. As she plays with you.
very
Sort of
normal
gnaws on
bear.
your head just a little bit. Licks around your eyeballs.
So everything looked normal with. There's nothing that stands out with the little cub that went by or went to them. Or can I not
well,
see
the,
that?
well, the cub is well past you at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
Yeah, but
like,
for like a bear cub to just like run up and start playing with somebody, that's pretty abnormal. Like, that's why I was
Really?
like, detect magic. Like this seems like something like not normal.
Well,
well,
and
Well, if
any
you're
of
saying
you
it's all
can
normal,
do-
like he's detecting normal energy, like it's a normal.
Well, I
Animal,
can't see
there's
the bear cub is what he's saying. The bear cub is past me. Like I'm with
okay.
how the mother bear is playing with me at the moment. I cannot see the cub. Perhaps you guys can, somebody possibly use handle animal. I don't know. There goes the Steven.
what happened now?
Steven didn't like the words handle animal.
We overloaded him. It's really overloaded. He has to quit and process what just happened.
I'm thinking like my recourse here would be change back and fucking run.
Like, if it's aggressive behavior, yeah, we'll attack the bear. But if it's just like, you
No,
know,
it's
we're
just
not like,
messing with
we're
me
not,
right now.
yeah, we're not like letting Reggie like wander off on his own, like trying to fuck with two bears, like a bear. You know, we're like watching
No,
it,
well,
like,
Well, no.
yeah.
I
While
wasn't
you're
fucking
while you're
with them.
trying to decide what to do, the bear realizes its cub has run away, and it stands up on hind legs, making the snorting noise, and sees its cub running after you guys and begins charging in that direction.
I'm out.
is it like, I guess there's, I don't know, like, is there a way to read an animal to see if it's an aggressive charge or if it's just like,
It looks like a frantic charge.
I guess I'll try to like,
This is about an 800-pound animal going to 35 miles per hour. In
how
about
far out?
half
many-
a second.
How far out from us?
The cub is about 10 feet behind you guys as you're walking at a good pace, and the bear is about 100 feet down the trail, but it's a pretty straight trail, good line of sight, and it's going very fast at this point, running that way.
I guess I'm gonna have my crossbow ready. I'm not gonna shoot, but like I'm gonna start like aiming at this bear. Like trying to maybe like get on the other side of a tree and get in a good steady position. And
Oh my gosh, I hope you aren't going to kill this poor thing.
I didn't say I'm shooting.
There's
I'm
an
saying I'm
easy
getting
way to
aimed,
deal
like,
with this.
That's what I'm asking. The condition, does it look like an aggressive charge, like it's roaring, it's really got the mouth, like charging us
No,
down,
it doesn't
like
have
raging its eyes?
rabies.
No,
It
but,
looks like it's very worried about its cub.
Do I have like we probably have like food or provisions on us, right?
Yeah,
I'm gonna drop.
absolutely.
I'm gonna try to like drop like a pile of food or provisions like near the cub.
Yeah, the fresher stuff or
Yeah.
The really dried stuff that's made for long
Well,
hikes.
if I have any kind like I don't have like wilderness lore or anything like that to like understand what they eat, but like I'm thinking like basic instinct, like it's a carnivore. If I have some like rabbit legs or shit like
Yeah.
that, like I'm
Well,
putting
yeah,
it down.
remember
like,
you
toward-
guys were looking through that abandoned village and found some aged meat and cheese.
Yeah.
That's
I'm gonna put-
a lot fresher than your rations.
So I'm gonna put like down that meat and stuff like for the like
You just chunk it down.
yeah like kind of like put it for the cub to like put it in his path. And like try to look like non-aggressive,
Okay.
like backing away, like
Okay. He stops and smells it.
I'm trying to make
Starts
myself
taking some
not
bites.
look like a predator or a threat.
Now do you guys okay, so it stops, takes a few bites. Eventually the mama bear catches up, puts herself in between you and it. And this happens pretty soon after that, because it was going very fast. Stands up, rears, growls. You guys are still backing away at a decent
Yeah.
pace.
Breaking eye contact, like trying to be
Do you
like
do
a
anything
submissive
stupid is the
posture.
question.
No, just doing like a submissive
It's
posture,
just a
but
bear.
like
It's not some evil thing that needs to be vanquished. It's just a mama bear.
yeah. Just kind of like
Normal woods.
try to like back away submissively posture, but like ready to attack if I need to, but just like creating distance, giving it more distance. Lay the food down, let the cub eat, and just like backed away.
Yeah. Get a bonus skill point for wilderness lore. Or if that's a survival,
That'd be my
either
first
or,
one.
whatever
Yeah,
you're using.
that'd be it'd be untrained.
You're untrained in it, then
Yeah.
take 3, so you can actually start using
I feel retarded.
it. Uh-oh.
While we were working originally on my character, we worked out an ability called Animal Trance. I could have just walked up to the bear and used that.
Oh, that's right.
It's okay,
Reggie.
Oh god! I was looking through my sheet. I'm like, what do I have? Because I'm basically at this point I've used myself out of spells until I rest, and I'm just like, And I look down, I'm like, oh my god, I am stupid.
It's okay. I handled it with my northern tribesman Viking essence.
You gave it food and ran away.
I imagine there was a very heroic scream in there, like a stand up to the bear. Then I like laid down food. It was like backing away, like don't make me kill you. Okay, well that. So the bear and the bear coat, like the bear, nothing special though. Like with Reggie doing detect magic.
No, nothing.
Okay. So
No, in fact, roll a wilderness lore check. Now that you have it,
okay, hold on.
use your new skill. It should just be wisdom plus 3. If
Yeah.
you don't have any ranks.
Okay, 15.
Perfect. She was a bit more aggressive than this time of year. Like surely, she has a 1-year-old cub and she was foraging, but that was a tad bit aggressive even for that. Like you think there might be maybe a little bit of lingering effects from that bad magic that swept through here. But for the most part, it's normal woods. You're hearing birds chirping. You're hearing different calls. Some of them you can't identify, some of them you can. There are normal tracks. So things more or less seem fine. And you guys make it back to the clearing where Mary and Paul live, and you hear a roar, and then what sounds like a furnace, and a small scream. And all this happens at once.
Is this coming from the direction of the cabin?
Yes.
How far are we out from the cabin? Like, do we know? Like,
Oh, you guys just walked up on the clearing, like you're
So we see
50
it?
feet away from the cabin. No, whatever it is on the other side of the cabin, the backyard, basically, by the where you guys were eating pie last time.
Guess
Hmm.
have my crossbow ready and start moving, like trying to take like a double move to get over there quickly.
Okay. Anybody else making a quick movement to follow?
Like
I just-
if we're on the opposite side of the cabin, yeah.
then yeah, I'll rush. I'll run with them.
Okay. Well, as Spinal rounds the corner, the first thing you see is a smoking, still slightly burning pile of flesh, which seems to be, under a bit of inspection, it seems to be a troll with a big great club with spikes. And Stewie is there with his jaw dropped. And Mary has a little bit of smoke coming out of her nostrils, and she looks a little surprised.
Okay. I'm gonna. Shit, I want to scan the area, man. Like, I want to look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spot check.
Yeah, do a spot check, and then do a search check.
Okay.
Well, let's see if your spot is
Yeah. Yeah.
meet the DC, then you'll know what to search for.
Okay, let's see. So, spot is 14.
You see something that wasn't there before, back in the brush. Not sure what it is. Other than that, everything seems to be normal. You don't see Raul or Paul anywhere.
Okay, so the place I see like back in the brush, what drew my attention?
Oh, there's
there?
one other thing is there's a wagon here now. It's Raul's wagon. That's the only other thing. But with the 14 DC, that's all you really see.
Where am
That's all
I
you notice is different.
in reference to the cabin, their cabin?
You're back behind her house.
Still? Okay.
Yeah, you ran
Uh,
around the corner, and they're standing in the backyard.
Yeah.
And then
But I
we're gonna
don't
have
see
to
like
call
a
this out at
visible
some point.
threat.
It's just a no.
Well, I guess I'll just take like I'll just
As you're
as I
as
round
you're
the corner, I
looking
guess I'll
around-
just be like a defensive position and like try
Yeah.
to get close to them.
yeah, your hackles are up, and you're standing beside Stewie, and Stewie with a little. You notice her voice is now noticeably like a little bit higher pitch now,
Yeah.
and she says, "Mary was amazing. It was amazing. She burned him alive." Like the little kobold is dazed.
Like, what do you speak
She
of?
burned him alive. It was like the stories. It was like it was Dragonfire. She like Stewie's like looking up at Mary. He's like, "Mary, you're amazing." And Mary puts her hand on Stewie's head. She says, "Oh, dear, thank you, but I." And then she sneezes, and like a bit of flame comes out of her nose, and at the same time, a golden explosion goes off underneath her hand, touching Stewie.
Does it hurt him?
Stewie grows about a foot And as she grows, you hear like, "Oh," and it comes from her, and she's like singing
Oh.
this note, and she stumbles a few feet and then falls down. And Mary looks at her hand, and she's like, "Oh dear, Stewie dear, I'm not sure what I've just done. Are you okay?"
Hmm.
And Stewie's
Oh.
like just staring at Mary in a daze. You know, you can see all of her scales are on end, and you know what that means, Reggie. She's like reeling from whatever that was. She's visibly larger, and
Is there anything on the troll that survived the burning?
there is actually yes. As Mary goes to move past, she goes, "Ouch!" And the big great club with a big jutting piece of metal caught her ankle, and she stumbles for a few steps and takes a little rag out and holds it onto her ankle and, "Can someone, you boys, can someone take care of that?" And she limps over and tosses the rag with a little bit of her blood on it casually into the trash and kind of limps over into her domicile. You can hear her rummaging through things for some bandages.
Hmm. Alright, well, I will... For starters, I'm gonna take that rag.
I was wondering if you were going to do that.
Yeah. Taking the damn rag. I know I ain't gonna be lifting that great club.
Like you pick it up out of the trash
Yeah, I'm just
and
gonna like...
and like just begin to take a look at it, and the blood is like immediately gone. You know where it's went.
Oh, that's some bullshit.
No, you feel it go into your amulet. Like this time it was within a foot of it, and it just pulled it there.
Oh, god damn it. Okay.
And
I
the amulet
completely forgot about that.
grows. The amulet feels better.
Damn amulet. I know out of game I know it helps. Because like I wanted a rag that had this magical thing's blood on it. And now the blood's in the amulet. And I'm like,
Yeah, I mean there's
Fuck
a
you,
tiny
amulet!
bit of residue,
uh,
but yeah, most of it that was soaked into it has gone into the amulet.
mm, mm, mm. I'm
So-
looking back and forth between the amulet and the rag, and I'm just like,
Yeah, are you trying to hide this from anybody else?
no.
Okay,
I
so
was
if
like,
anybody
Like
if
it just
anybody
happens
saw.
in plain view.
Yeah. At this point, you might be like looking around, wondering, where's Paul? Did Paul just see what I did? Paul's not there, and neither is Rawl. They're both gone. But the wagon, Rawl's wagon, is parked here. So if you guys want to talk to Mary or ask her what's going on, let me know. Otherwise,
Yeah,
we're...
I'm thinking about the troll. Well,
My internet's acting like shit again.
I was about to say, if you said anything about your internet, I was like, we told you to take a nap. We told you.
No, it's not. It's not. I can go on. Like I'm fine. It's just
Well,
the
just do-
internet is like,
Yeah. Do the party and no games and stuff. But then you can
I
focus.
can't do.
I
yeah,
guess I'll
but
go help her.
Steven, you can do that. Like, you can be in a party.
Well, this is
not
your
play
first
games.
time coming in here. It's a very homely place. It feels magical, though everything in here is normal, and it almost seems as though the magic is in the ordinary. If it's any way to put it, like you feel like a piece of grapes from her table would be more sustaining and better tasting than, you know, any dessert at a palace. Like there's a quality to being here that you can't quite put your finger on, but it feels
Well,
very wonderful.
I remember last time I was here, I used detect magic, and like everything was glowing.
Right,
Fucking everything.
right, especially
That's-
Mary.
Yeah. Well, her and her husband, weren't they both glowing?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they both seem like they were made of light. Like almost as if what you're looking at is an illusion of light.
Hmm.
That they're a powerful being of light, and that's like all you're being shown.
I'm going. So yeah, I was gonna go after her and see if she needed help and give her the stuff that we found, like the stuff we
So
brought back.
She's like, "Thank you, dear," and starts talking about, just absentmindedly talking about how, you know, the medicine doesn't seem to be working that Paul had, and anyway, Paul's gone, and he needed to take Raoul back, and they went and they told the headmaster about the squirrel not having the squirrel yet, and then they brought back the wagon, and then they decided to leave again and go find, and she starts paging through the pictures and pulls out the one of the mechanism from
The tower.
Bjorn's house, the mechanism that, you know what I'm talking about? Spinal, are you there?
Yeah.
So she brings up that picture again. She says they went here because I told them it was time. We've been out here long enough, you know. And she gives you like this, like pulls like over the nose, like grandmother kind of look. We've been out here long enough. It's time we go back. Paul was once a great man there in that kingdom. I think it's time we should do something again.
I'm sorry for interrupting, but what did I miss?
Y'all tell him. Where's
Hmm.
the thingy?
Wait, what?
Wondering what he missed,
Oh,
and I'm looking for. So, you
so
tell him.
okay.
There it is.
Got knocked around by a bear a little bit,
Yeah, I
and
missed that.
okay. The cabin. We heard a roar. We go to where the roar came from and find a troll that burnt. It's all burnt to a crisp, and coming out of the old trolls. And the I forget which one's which.
Kobold.
Like the goblin. Okay, the kobold had said that it was dragon fire.
It was like,
So
it
putting
was
two and two
amazing.
together, she spit
Mary,
out
you're
dragon
amazing.
fire.
Yeah, Mary. The kobold just watched Mary roast a full-grown troll alive with dragon fire.
Mary's the old lady.
Yep, Mary's the little lady, and she was standing around, you know, like, dear, I'm not, what, you know, and then Stewie was telling her how amazing she was, and she put her hand on her head, and was like, "Thank you, dear, but I don't," and then she sneezed out a big burst of dragon fire. At the same time, a golden explosion went off under her hand, and Stewie visibly grew larger and taller, and her head went up in the air, and she was like, "Whoa!" And like then her scale end, and she's glowing a little bit, and like takes a few steps, falls down, and is unable to speak, and kind of just staring open-mouthed at Mary, just in shock. And then Mary cut her foot on the Great Club and limped inside and threw a bloody rag that she had soaked from her ankle into the trash. And Reggie, or Good, to retrieve it, and the blood was instantly sucked into the amulet. He didn't even want it to, it just happened on its own that time. So after
Yeah.
oh yeah, you're in the house and she's talking to you. Does anyone else do anything right now?
No.
Can I do an untrained heal on Mary?
There's no need.
Okay.
She's better now. She went and treated it herself. She's got like, the normal herbs and poultices and things that you would see in just a peasant's house. Hers are. There's some unknowable quality to just the normal things in her house that make them almost divine. They're filled with such power. So as soon as she put on her little poultice and dressing, like, it is healed. It's basically done. Benji comes in there and starts asking about the flower and talking about how he tried some of it and he's wondering like what it does. And she ruffles his hair. Says, "Yes, dear, I remember when you were a boy and got lost in the woods. Did you know you came to see me?" And like Benji is shocked. He says, "No, that was a dream." He sits down. It's like, "That was a dream." "No, you spent a lot of time here with us." And he starts, like unconsciously, he starts pulling out some of the powder and like chopping it up, you know, and does a little line and he's chopping it up. He's like not even thinking about it. And Mary's watching him. And they just start talking about when he was a boy, just reminding him of things. And then you see Mary like lean over and go, you know, she takes a little line. "Oh dear, that is more potent," you know. Like it's her medicine that Paul gathered for her, but she's never seen it prepared like this. You know, he's like, he's doing like the dealer thing, like, "No, you gotta cut it like this, and you know, it needs to be, this is how you prepare it if you want it potent," you know, and they're just talking, you know, like this is where like druggy meets like old alchemical magic lady, and it's they seem to find like a common ground. Like he's talking about like the visions and what it does, like the visuals and the mindset, and she's explaining how it keeps her focused, you know, and this allows her to at least not be senile, you know, because she knows she's losing her mind. This way can control. It gives basically it gives Benji visions and makes him confused. For someone like Mary, it takes away her visions and her confusion. And so she's actually very, very clear right.
Okay. At least
That's me.
final or 6?
Me. More than likely.
So it's based. Uh-oh. What's happening?
Give him a second.
No. How's everybody leaving? Folks dropping like flies. I think his bog's probably cut off from not doing anything. So, yes. So Mary, you know, takes another snort, and her and Benji are just sitting around for almost the rest of the night, and you know, Princess Minsky is sitting there in the corner, cross-legged, just kind of quietly listening to Benji as he talks to this old lady. You know, they're speaking about visions in the past and when he was a child, and the things that he thought were like dreams and like the fancies of childhood, like that. No, that stuff was real. Like you were here and it was a fucking fairy tale. You know, that kind of thing. Like in this is blowing his mind a little bit and probably explains why he's never felt comfortable just sitting in the human kingdoms. Like there's more out there, you know, and he wanted to get out. He's had dreams about this stuff.
So, slightly off topic, as the game has been going on, and the blood has been going into these things, say like the sword and whatever else, have we each noticed this happen to each other's stuff?
I don't know. Make sure to add your voice, 25. It's a good question. Because you had, I'd say yes, because if you'll remember, you had constricted the guy and held down his arms. When the soul blade went into him for the final kill, you would have had front and center vision, of the blood pouring out of the chest going into the blade. So
Okay. So
it's happening to the other stuff as well.
Alright.
At least to the
I'm
ones
gonna
that have had
assume nobody's
swords.
moved the troll. Nobody's moved the troll body yet.
Nope.
Okay.
But taking a 10 and walking around, you notice that there's another one that's back behind, behind the
Another
shed.
live one, or another dead one.
Another burned one.
Okay. Okay.
And then there's a third one past that looks like it got...
How fucking many did she burn while we were away?
No, this one looks like Paul got it with his traps.
Oh. I was gonna say, what the fuck happened?
But
We
if
weren't
you
gone
would,
that long.
yeah, but if you would make mention of it, she would say that time moves a little differently here at her cabin. But since you've been gone, she's had 3 trolls have come through here, and each one of them had evil in their eyes and black smoke coming from their great clubs. And she doesn't think that this is not a normal thing. She didn't see them coming. Usually she would see whatever was coming, and they would know to put traps out or to move the traps. This whole place is littered with different booby traps and things that Paul has said here, and that they've both worked on for, it's pretty deadly stuff they've littered throughout the area. But Mary has visions of who's coming. They know where to put the traps and where not to put the traps.
Alright, I'm gonna go to 25's character and go. When what appears to be blood enters your weapon, does something happen to you?
Ever since that night on the tower,
Perhaps then we
it
should
feels
try.
hungry.
We should try something. And I want to take him out to the first dead troll. And go. Try stabbing that. In the hopes that there's still blood in the body.
Yeah, sure, I'll do so.
Which troll?
The one that we discovered when we got.
The most recent one.
Yeah, the most recent one.
Yes, it does have fresh blood still in it. And as you begin to put your hand near it, this time, without your will, soul blade, your nails pop out like 9 inches long and red. You feel it like it's just, and it's strength coming into you.
From a troll. Yeah.
You did it.
I didn't remember that to work. I honestly didn't. I figured it was like I killed this opponent.
But
and
now with the
a troll,
that's
of course, but yeah.
with now I think that's sufficient enemies. So that with that one, your vampiric touch is under your control now, so you can end it or let it keep going. And like just let these things have their fill, which they'll stop after a bit anyway.
Do you know if any of our other companions have these qualities?
What of sucking a lot?
They suck hard.
I'm trying to think. Have I noticed anybody
Um,
else's?
You probably. This is a quality you guys have probably been noticing it as it's been happening. Maybe not on NC. Sorry, on I don't
Spinal.
know, what's his name?
Steven.
Yes, but his name, his character's name.
Bjorn.
Bjorn. Thank you. I was gonna call him BJ. Like that is not it. Bjorn. Okay, yeah. Jeez. Oh, BJ. Not on his chainmail, because he's had little cuts that got sucked into the chainmail, and you just wouldn't have noticed that. But going into his sword, yeah, you'd have seen that.
Okay. So yeah, I'll answer with like what I've noticed.
Do you move toward it, Reggie?
Yeah. Step over here. Let's see if your amulet does the same.
I would think having walked around to get the bloody rag, I probably would have been near it.
Actually, I'm gonna retcon something, Reggie.
Okay.
I'm gonna retcon one small thing. Whenever you picked up the rag, and the blood was immediately gone before you could bring it to your eyes to look at it, it makes more sense that it went straight into that ring you're wearing rather than to the amulet. So I'm gonna say that's what happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
The ring is
Rose
also
ring.
yeah, the one he threw. Yeah. All right. Sorry for that retcon.
That's fine.
It makes more sense.
That's fine. And
Excuse me.
I guess I'll get closer to the troll then. Maybe. Yeah. Trying to think. Okay. He's dead. There's no.
Yes.
I don't
he
have
is
any
dead.
spells. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't have anything that could bring him back yet.
Mm. No.
Right, we wouldn't want to anyway.
But,
Fuck that.
I'm leaving an open
I'll
moment.
pat him. I'll
'cause
pat him down. Like
there are
see if there's
things-
anything. Like feel if there's anything on him that I could lift.
Are you gonna check everywhere?
No, I'm not sticking my hand up its asshole.
Well, then you don't find anything, Reggie. I don't know what to tell you.
That's fine. I can live happily
Yeah.
Okay.
without finding a shit-covered item.
Okay. Fair enough.
Not that much.
No. Alright. Yeah, if there's nothing on him, would I then be close enough to whatever sword wound that's 2-5 may have, or whatever wound the blood may have come out of.
Well, you lean down, and neither the ring or the amulet seem to care about this, but you do feel a third sort of pull. Something you haven't even considered, haven't thought about.
I'm not pulling out the dagger.
There's a dagger at your belt.
Oh,
It
I know.
feels hungry and neglected.
It can continue to feel that way.
Okay.
So I think we should. Mayhap we find the other two and try this and see what results yield.
Sounds like a plan.
What, the older ones?
I mean,
No,
how old are you
the
talking
other-
about?
No, I'm talking about the other ones in our group.
Oh, right. Okay.
Hmm.
Well,
Oh, wait a minute.
Tisk
Steven's
has
not. Is Steven back?
T-
Yes, he is.
Tisk has been watching you, and out of nowhere, like you say this, I wonder about the others, and you hear, ah! And Tisk runs up there and like does a leaping stab into the thing, and you see his eyes like flash like red for just a second. He's like, "Ah!" and he turns the blade, and he's like, "Ah," and his ears grow a little bit, and he turns a little bit darker green. And he looks at you, and he's like, "That felt good," and he pulls out the blade, and licks his lips a little, and like walks away like proud little goblin, you know.
Okay.
That was entirely unexpected.
Hey, what the fuck?
Yeah, he's already gotten the rage and the strength boost. And he's starting to turn into a little orc.
I mean,
But it's hard to tell,
And he-
you know,
he
because
looks
he's a
like
only
goblin.
good orc's a dead orc.
As I say, he looks different, like a little different.
It's very difficult to say because of the fact that he already had, you know, pointed ears, green skin to begin with, sharp teeth. You're not really
It's
going to
kinda
be able
like-
to tell right
As I say,
away,
it's kind of like a kid growing up into a teenager.
sort of.
There's a little bit over time, all the time.
Yeah, it's slowly taking effect on him.
Hmm.
But the thing is, he likes it. He really likes it. I did not write these things to go together, but damn, it makes too much sense.
Alright, well, since Spinal's not here, we'll go find.
Oh, what the fuck happened to him? Did
Yeah,
his
he's still
internet
not
just
back
crap
yet.
out?
Probably.
It's
Uh,
like my internet cracked out for a few minutes.
Go wherever Steven is and explain to him if we want to try something.
I don't have that blade anymore. I gave that away.
True, but
Why?
It's
Do you
because
just prefer
I felt-
throwing rocks?
Yes.
you feel the chain that's clasped around your ankle begin to shrink. And it's cutting into you. And you feel instinct that the chain is saying, "Oh, you're not going to give me blood? Then I'll get it from your ankle," kind of thing. And it's literally cut into you. You also feel that your shield is hungry.
I'm gonna chunk everything away.
It's a fucking shield, Steven!
It's a cursed shield.
Usually, you would not be aware of these things. However, in the presence of Mary's cabin, certain things have more magical property. And in this place, like, they're hungry. And you can feel it. It's like a new sense you're appreciating while you're here with them.
Appreciate
How heavy is this shield?
And Reggie is doing this in-game, you know, like, so in game there's a response. Shield's pretty fucked, like at least a 10-pound shield. Probably lower.
Gosh,
Probably more. Yeah, it's a fucking meteor that has been flattened into something that looks like a shield. It's just a chunk of promethium that was just good enough to be enchanted with a +1 AC. And it just so
Cursed
happened to be
eye.
at the place at the right time. No, it's not cursed, dude. Oh my gosh. He's never gonna.
The what?
Look, Tisk
For me-
loves
alright.
that sword. He doesn't think it's
So-
cursed at all. He thinks it's blessed.
Yeah. So would a crack addict think that crack wasn't cursed?
Actually, Tisk likes you more now. Like you both have very similar looking teeth. Like his are getting a little larger. They'll be about your size. You know, you got some tusks coming out on the bottom. He's more green than you are. You know.
So, alright, in game, are you literally going to, like, just leave your shield or just, like, get rid of it?
Why
I'm not
do
judging,
they-
I'm just asking.
I might just like anything that like delights in blood, not
Okay, can we condense your sentence to a yes or no?
no, I'm not going to get rid of the shield.
You feel the
Fuck.
shield
Okay.
growing warm in your hand, but it's
How many of these
It's a
fucking
a good kind of
pseudo-cursed
warmth.
items you want? Reggie? Shit.
Hey, man!
Dust, Reggie will take
Healer's,
them.
the healer's gotta stay alive!
Yeah.
Oh, I got an
I
idea.
chunk it at the
Wait, you're throwing your
Your
shield at something?
orc. Yeah, I chunk it at the orc.
There's... You mean the
Hey,
half
wait,
orc?
orc?
Not orc.
The troll.
The troll.
Okay.
Are you throwing it at the
Yeah, it's like a
You said orc, and I
half-hearted
thought
throw.
That asshole half orc.
It's like a half-hearted throw. It doesn't quite cleave into it like it could if he wanted to, but it does like get some blood on it and kind of roll away, but then it rolls back over to you almost of its own accord. And you see it's still standing there at your feet, and it begins emanating a soft glow, just a soft type like radiant glow.
It appears to want you.
You hear it too, like it says
Wait, the shield grunts at him?
yep.
Hey,
Hey,
like,
pick me
is
up.
it like,
Pick me up.
like,
Hey.
I picked it up.
You're looking at the shield, and there's like somebody. You see a vision of somebody blinking at you, like trying to look at you, and then looks like they can see you, and you can see them, and it's a Furbolg, an old Furbolg, powerful. He's like, yes, you use that rock, boy. And then it fades away.
Is Steven the only one that sees it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I'm gonna go run.
okay, Reggie. No, okay, no, Reggie, you can see it. You have the divine sight.
Okay.
It kicks
Okay.
on just for a second, and you're the only one who sees. You don't hear it.
I'm the only other person that sees it, or I'm the only one that sees it?
You see the soft glow. You see the image that's on the face of the shield, but you don't hear anything it says. You just see it because you have the divine sight, and this is a divine message coming through this shield. Almost exactly like if you've seen Clash of the Titans and Perseus, who was given the shield by Zeus, and then Zeus spoke to him through the shield. It's exactly the same.
Like a little walkie-talkie.
Those
That can
basically
kill
are
people.
a thing in D&D, like sending stones, I think, or rings of communication. It's basically just a walkie-talkie with a range of like a mile or two, I think.
Cool.
Mhm.
So, let me know if anyone does anything else getting ready to bed down for the night, and then you guys are making plans for first thing in the morning to get in the wagon, everyone get together and head north, just like you're a merchant. Take the wagon road up through the mountains and into
What's in the
Mercantile.
wagon?
It is whatever Rawl brought with him. Probably a lot of fancy lad clothing, a little bit of extra gunpowder. You know, it's anything he had in there, and
And we're gonna sell it all.
also well, actually no. Yeah,
Wait, was Raw human?
he was a thing. So there's
Okay.
there's
So, I
quite
mean,
there's
size-
some expensive
Size
clothing.
comparison. Well, I mean, like size comparison. He's like
Medium, yeah.
okay. so
Oh,
he's
I see
medium
what you
too.
mean. Yeah, there's plenty of extra stuff. And actually,
Yeah.
if you happen to, do you happen to look into
Yeah,
the ring?
I'm gonna put like I'm look
Yeah,
into
we
the
gotta
ring.
take stock of what's in the.
There's a little
This is our
counter.
wagon now, so.
There's a little counter on the top of the ring that had 2 shades on it, and now it has 3. So there's an extra outfit unlocked.
Uh-huh.
So right now you have the one with Sune. So you can basically just take your pick of whatever fancy lad type of outfit you'd want. You can just, out of the stuff he has in here, you could, it's like costume material. You can make anything, basically any kind of disguise you wanted out of the stuff.
Yeah, basically,
And-
I more or less just want to make myself not look poor.
Okay, like a high to do,
So,
fancy high to do outfit.
yeah,
All right.
yeah, something nice
Yeah.
that wouldn't when people look at me, they wouldn't initially be like, oh, that's a beggar.
But as like a high to do priest or
Yeah.
like sultan
Yeah.
from a foreign land, or like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, some kind of nice robe looking thing.
Like
If you
Aladdin.
got that. Yeah,
Are you
sure.
like a
with
visiting
that.
prince kind of thing? Okay. Yeah, something really
We'll go with
slick.
that.
Something like royalty. You're so put down like you have your Sune divine
I'm like an
disguise,
evangelist.
and then a royalty princely kind of disguise.
Fun times. Let's see.
You also have okay, as you guys, this is a little later on in the night. If nobody has anything they want to do while everyone's like bedding down and getting good rest.
Nope.
So Reggie, you have
Yeah, I'm good.
friends that come and visit you in the middle of the night.
I'm gonna go smoke a Big J.
Where do you even
IRL or your
find-
character?
No.
You say where do you even
Character.
find
Steven ain't got
Oh
any
yeah,
sweet
yeah. No,
IRL.
no. Benji's sitting over there like breaking up the flour, and he's like showing you that the keef from the flour is the stuff that you snort, but actually like the hairs and the other things are perfectly smokable. And he like fat stuff up and talking about how he can't sleep either. And yeah, if you want to sit up and smoke out with Benji, he'd be more than about it. But Reggie, you have visitors. You have in the middle of the night, 2 little snakes come up beside you and start whispering in your ear. And they say, "Yes, Lord, Lord, wake up. We brought you something, Lord."
They bring me a rodent. I feel like they probably brought me a dead animal.
You hear the
I'm
other
handling
one.
Typical pet behavior.
You hear the other one. It says, "I told you he wanted a rat or something good like that. I told you." Hush.
What do I see when I look at
Lord.
them?
They're both, the both of them are coiled around a thing that looks like a staff.
They brought me basically a piece of wood.
Yes.
Well, I'm not gonna be rude about it. I'm going to thank them. Yeah.
Do you look at it?
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. That's how I know what it is. I'm looking at what they brought me.
Yeah. Upon further
It's a piece of
inspection,
wood.
it's a hollow piece of wood. It's actually Rawl's didgeridoo, and they're coiled around it like it's a caduceus. And inside, it has some scrolls that have been rolled up and stuffed down into it. And they're both coiled around it and kind of moving it across the ground like a little vortex, like keeping it moving.
Yeah.
Here, Lord, we took this from the fancy one. He stepped on me, so I bid him hush.
Hush.
Hush, but he was an asshole. We took this, Lord.
Yes, he was.
And you'll remember these are the two
thank
snakes.
you.
These are the two snakes that you picked up and charmed when they were in the evil rush. It's the same two. And you broke the spell, so then when all the magic faded, like they're yours, you know.
Ooh, they can just like wrap around my arms.
Sure.
Yeah, there we go. Now can I go to sleep? God damn it. I'll take the staff. I'll put it beside me, and I'll like get to just show them appreciation for it, and then I'll let them.
Yeah,
I
they
guess
coil
if
up
they wanted
beside
to
you.
coil up on me, near me, whatever, and we'll go to sleep. I've got pet snakes.
Yes, you do. And I knew. See, I got a game. You know, I asked TK if he was gonna leave, and he was kind of abrasive about it, and said no, he would just leave you guys and take off. It's like okay, but
Yeah, I'd see Roll doing that.
Like that's
Take
fine,
the
dude.
scrolls, sell them all.
Fully expect me to pillage your shit, bro.
Yeah.
well, he actually, you know, they went to the headmaster and explained about the squirrel and that they would need more time. And then they came back with the wagon and began setting north for Spinal's old homestead, Bjorn's old house. So he was going to go off on his own, but then after something happened at the tower that made him change his mind, and it had to do with the headmaster and his mom, and just a difference of attitude. Basically, like way, like you guys would never know this, but the headmaster is finding it a lot more freeing to just be, because she thinks you guys are going to come back with the squirrel at any moment, and this will all be set right. So it's like, well then who cares anymore, right? Like send out the things, go talk to the people, you know, go. It's like loosen up, live a little, let things happen, you know. Like she's been very, very strict with magic in this area, and it's been a lot of the cause of problems, even though she would think it was stopping more problems than it would cause. It hasn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like at the moment, only King Boblia and other tyrannical people have the weapons, have magical things. Like those need more. They need to be available for everyone. You know, she's created a problem trying to control the flow of magic. So, yeah. All right. You guys, where is Spinal? You guys are ready to wake up and go nerd.
Or wake up and pray.
Yeah, you can pray if you
Pray.
want,
Pray to
But-
Gateway.
but you don't have to beg. Clerics don't beg in my game. You've been given the power. You decide how you want to use it that day.
Eh.
But once in a while, you may feel the eyes of Sune upon you, you know, and if you displease her, then you may have to beg for some of these powers. You know?
Yeah, right now it's a get up and be like, "Hey God, how's it going? Please bless this group and those who travel with them.
Nice.
You know, the usual." Yeah.
Alright.
So, wait, do we actually have a means of moving this wagon?
It came with one horse, but with everybody in it, you're gonna need to borrow the other one. So Mary had 2 horses, and one was the really old mare. Rawl
What
and
if?
Rawl and Paul took that one because Rawl could use the lay on hands and just keep it going. So this
So-
one is
What if? What if Steven just gets in his big form and we hitch him up, and then we have him and the horse?
I mean,
I don't think so.
I knew you wouldn't be down for that.
it worked for a little while. He'd get tired though. A horse is actually, I don't know, almost as strong as Steven, probably. 2 horses together. Strength check of 2 combined full-grown horses.
Yeah, that would be the point.
Yeah. So, darn it, it's only just now 11, and Spike is gone. He's
You
gone.
done gone MIA.
Hey, at least I came back.
Yeah, good job, Steve.
And I'm half delirious.
All the time. Well, you guys begin
Come
making your way
now.
north. Oh, okay.
I'm gonna try.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
do-
try to.
Do anything you want in game.
Why not hitch yourself up to this cart and help this horse?
Because I'm not a beast of burden anymore.
Well, why is the horse a beast of burden and not you? You can grow large.
Because I think.
Well, so's the horse.
And it's happy to do it. Yes,
Have you talked to the horse?
Have you talked to the
haven't.
horse?
The one on
No,
the left,
I haven't.
like, goes, looks at you side to eye, like, doesn't, not a very friendly look.
I don't
Stamps-
think he
stamps his
wanted to
feet.
be hooked up to that. At least not by himself. Perhaps if he had a companion to help pull the cart.
Why don't you hook yourself up to it?
Look at me, I'm tiny and frail.
Yeah, I literally laugh if he asks that.
I mean, my other form was not nearly as large as you.
Yeah, why don't you become a snake and do it?
As I just said.
But still, size does not matter. You will be as strong or as stronger.
But you've been told.
While you guys are sitting there arguing about it, Hisk has grabbed the yoke. He's like, ah, the wagon, step by step. Ah! Ah! Like making these little noises. He's trotting off down the road.
Ah. What a thing.
Fucking
Uh,
Are we sure it's safe to have it?
You see Tisk like raging out on the thing. You rage in. You're angry. You're angry. You don't even know why. You're feeling angry. You're just like, "Ugh."
concentration check.
You're trying angry.
Yeah.
That doesn't control you, but I mean, it's gonna pop on every now and then.
18.
See, his eye just starts to twiddle while he's talking to you. That's all. The only visible you can tell. He's like really angry, but he's holding it back.
Well, we might as well chase after that before it gets away.
He didn't go very
Yeah.
far.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
He's just a little goblin. You got +2 strength. That's all, y'all. Come on. He raged for a second.
Hey, his +2 strength is better than my -1.
mhm.
Yeah, Tisk is stronger than you know.
Yep.
He's I think he's
Currently.
10. Yeah. So he has no negatives. Oh hell, give him an 11.
He just gets stronger as he pulls
Yeah,
the cart. Like Hulk, he just gets stronger the longer he's angry.
Yeah, I mean. Maybe. All right, so eventually you guys everything hooked up and
Mm.
get a wagon and begin heading north. Or do you head along a tiny little trail that you were going to before, or do you east and where the road is a little more wide and open for a wagon?
I would say like, the easier path for the wagon.
Yeah, it adds a little bit to the
Yeah.
overall. It's definitely better on the going.
And is this like a full blown like wagon, like hauling the
It's like a red desk.
to the market? Is it like a two-wheeled?
This is a fancy lad wagon where she used to sit up front with the one horse, and Raw was with his little silk, you know, it's a little fancy lad cart. I mean, it needs two horses to comfortably pull everyone together. You know, it's not quite a full like merchant wagon. It's a little smaller.
But,
We're going
yeah, and
to the kingdom, right? Or the town that we only had planned on.
Well, you're gonna head west, and then you'll run into a crossroad, and you'll down past the hills, where the valley opens up, and the two streams, the river splits, and it splits apart into two different rivers, and both of them couch. What the hell? Marrakesh. Marrakesh in these two rivers. It's basically a collection of turned into a just because of it's growing basically. So south down to Marrakesh through the Bandit Road where you guys just were, you know, go up through the Horn, through the windy, and then
Mhm.
you'll end up in the outskirts of the Mercantile territory, which is where Benji lives. and I sent a message if you guys have access to the message. So,
Yeah.
actually, I should take a picture of this. There's in the triangular wedge, that kingdom is situated close to the tip, but it's not all the way. The tip of the triangle, there's a diamond that encapsulates what I'm going to call the old hub. And this place has a pretty big portion of that old hub area. And when great things are held, this is when like parades and tournaments and celebrations are held in the ruins of the old hub, which is like some ancient temple or something or other that no one knows exactly what it was, but it's really, really, really old. So these areas have grown up over time, and the king has allowed the mercantile area to grow and actually go into his slice of the pie. So it comes up right next to the big castle walls. But like I said, this is where most of the people in the kingdom are fed. So it's a very rich kingdom because of all the trade that comes through here. A lot of these people have become wealthy and thus don't have to farm for themselves. So they buy food from the merchants. So the merchants are all this stuff is just like a constantly flowing little economy that's pouring in from Marrakesh. And Marrakesh is, they have the best laws. They got, liberty and like no corruption, and it's just that their philosophy down there has allowed prosperous, trade to really grow through here. And also, the kobolds have been basically keeping the bandits down for 20 years, and nobody knew that. It was just a quiet thing they were doing. Bandits take up refuge in this little area, they take them out, because they're loud and smelly, and they don't like them there. They don't mind the wagons coming through. That doesn't bother the kobolds. They just want to mine and be left alone, and you know what I mean?
Kind of sounds like a dwarf, though. Mine and be left alone.
It's like a dwarf if a dwarf had a dragon overlord to hoard their money for. It's like if the movie The Hobbit, it was about the dwarves trying to serve Smaug with all their hearts and being happy that he had all their gold. Like, then that would be like the Kobold Society, more or less. Very similar. So, if that's the way you guys are going, it's say what?
Speaking of dragon and smog and everything, Mary earlier, like, did she actually transform, or
You
did
did
she
not.
just like?
Yeah, you did not see her transform, but you heard Stewie more or less proclaim that she sprouted dragon fire, is what it was, and it was amazing. Mary, he's like, Mary, you're amazing. And if you know anything about kobold lore, like, he was looking at her like, is it you? Are you her? Really? Which he doesn't even know what he's talking about, because it's more or less an instinct, because all the memories are gone from their species because of this cataclysmic spell. It's just a feeling and a kind of awe. And Stewie does not go with you guys. I forgot to mention that. You might look for him later and realize he didn't come. He left. He stayed with Mary. So Tisk is with
Okay.
you, but Stewie opted to stay back with Mary. He did not want to leave her side, especially with Paul not there and trolls coming around.
Okay, so we've made it to said town.
So if you guys, that's what I'm saying. If you're going north through these roads, through the bandit roads, and coming up, then you finally come out and you see the sprawling countryside, and there's shanty towns that have backed up damn near to the foothills of the mountains all along the right, which is the eastern wall of the caldera, and then you guys basically are on a little road that goes straight up in between this little mercantile district and the kingdom. And then there's a big door into the kingdom with several guards, and there's a very large, tall wall with towers all along it. And you can see that in the picture that I sent.
Yeah.
So,
Alright, so
There's-
I say we just walk up to the door.
well, you're riding past. On your left is all kinds of outskirts of little hamlet shanties that are made of like gypsy silk and like mercantile mobile homes, basically. And there's tons of them, and some have different feels than others. You know, some are definitely gypsy, and you know, lots of silk and lots of flamboyant dress, and others are, you know, more bare knuckle, grab a pint and have a fight in the middle of the dirt, you know, kind of. But they're all like little merchant communities of anywhere from 25 to 50 people in these each one of these little merchant hamlets, and they're scattered here and there, and then they get thicker and thicker as you get closer to the city, to the point where it's like a full-blown bazaar, and it just like doesn't stop. It's like a market square that doesn't stop, and it comes right up to the castle gates, to the walls, and there are people freely going back and forth, and you know, buying things for lunch and going back to work, and you know, all the people in the city are like more or less high-to-do, you know, like air conditioner, cushy kind of jobs, even though there's no air conditioning. Like there's not really.
Office
isn't-
workers.
Yes, this is like your medieval kind of office worker area. It's just that a lot of them are nobles and merchants and aristocrats. It's a very well-to-do city, and yeah, so they have stipends for the people that live within their walls, like that are from noble families but don't have that kind of work, and those people usually volunteer. They don't have to, mind you, but they're kind of looked down on if like what do you do? You know, well, at least he's a volunteer, okay, you know, he keeps us safe, you know, kind of thing. Like if you're in this community, like they want you to do something. You don't have to, but they want you to. It's a bit of a stigma if you don't volunteer and you don't have like
Yeah,
a
there's
legitimate
a
job.
term for that, voluntold.
I like
Yeah,
that.
it's like, yes, you
Yeah.
voluntold for this. Or you were voluntold.
Okay.
I get that a lot at home.
That's
It's
funny.
like, oh yeah, he'll do that for you. I will.
So, and this place is very different from, for instance, you know, you guys were over in King Boblia's territory, and it seemed very much like his castle and his men. That's where all the money went, and everybody else were peasants and pig farmers. The market was rather small. You know, there wasn't a whole lot going on. Like, they were taking a lot of taxes from the goods roads and from the people, and they're not really doing well, like as well as this place. And then compare that to Bjorn's place where he lived, where you have a loose collection of villages, and he was a noble lord, you know, and they had, you know, cattle and grazing stock, and this is a big part of the reason his wealth has been taken. Like those orcs that came, they raped and pillaged, and they took all the cattle and drove them back down south. And this is going to be part of the Old West campaign, like to go down to Orktown, wrestle up Spinal's cattle, bring them back. Like that's going to be, thinking level 5, so that's coming up. That'll be fun.
Devil went down to Orktown. He was looking for a tribe unite.
I went to the South Park intro more than Devil went down to Georgia. Come on down to Worktown, have some time.
Ugly faces everywhere.
Doctor, doctor.
Ugly faces everywhere, giant fangs all pointy.
Grown from ooze and raised by
I would-
goblins. Strange.
So
Or-
we're walking past all this, like all these shops and whatnot. Then.
Well, if you want to be walking, but there's a wagon. Whoever wants to ride can ride. Whoever wants to walk can walk. But yeah,
They
there's
show up.
there's all these different places, and there's there's snake oil salesmen and people peddling silks and things and who's-its and what's-its from foreign lands and things that produce fire and make different color fire and like all manner of different stuff. You're passing people that are yelling out, do you want some roasted rat? It's the best rat you've ever had, and there's all kinds of stuff happening. There's a lot of fish, quite a lot of fish. A lot of different varieties of fish being offered.
I'm probably gonna hate myself, but I'm just gonna keep going. I'm gonna, for the most
Lord.
part, ignore the sailing.
Lord, that man, he said you have a rat you could get us. He's yelling about it, Lord.
But thing is, I'm assuming it's already dead.
Yeah,
It's already
it's
dead.
cooked.
I don't think you would stomach it.
Shit. Okay.
Hell, just turn them loose in the city when we get somewhere, like to the inn. It's like, go. They'll be rats.
Basically. Yeah, they don't need to stay on me all the time. They can look for their own food. They were wild for a lot longer than they were mine.
Steven, did you change profiles?
No.
I'm just making sure.
What do you mean?
I haven't heard
He's
it on
making
the
sure your audio
broadcast.
is included.
Yeah.
Of course, he also hasn't said anything for, I'd say, a
Yeah,
good 5
that's
minutes
true.
or longer.
I'm trying to stay awake.
Well, as you're going through,
And,
Benji is telling you, yeah, these are some of the best rats you'll ever have, but they're not as bad as the fish. I've had this fish since I grew up, and let me tell you, it's fucking awful. You don't want to eat any of that river crap. It's my terrible impression of Johnny.
Isn't he? He's the son of the king, right? Or the son of the guy
Yeah,
in
this
charge of the place?
Prince Benji, yeah.
Okay. And they ate shitty river fish food?
Well, most of the people, the working class people, get their food from these outlets, and he's telling
Yeah.
you to stay away from the ones that are selling the river trout next to the rat merchant. That's the worst fish you'll ever have right there.
Okay, so it's not something that they had served up in the castle. I'm assuming he came down here at some point and, like, bought it.
No. Yeah,
his
this
own
is like,
goodwill.
yeah, everyone comes down here from this city. This is a food market,
Okay.
and this is like the storefront of the mercantile homestead. It's like a nomad, mercantile nomad land that's really spread out since they since this kingdom left their own homeland, joined the orcs, and wiped out Bjorn's kingdom, and started to move into that fresh, fertile land that they've been taking care of. So all
Yeah.
these people with their roving caravans and things have begun to move into that territory that was vacated, and this has just allowed the whole mercantile economy to boom. And it's just really exploding through here. It's not necessarily a bad thing. There's basically anything you could want within reason you can find, and you'll have to haggle for it, but this is like
Mhm.
the biggest shopping district you could ever imagine.
Is it like in New Orleans, the I forget the name of the place. It's a marketplace, pretty much.
It's a shady marketplace.
Yeah, but Steven's trying to relate it to an actual place in America,
Yeah.
in New Orleans, and I know where he's talking about. I'm pretty sure I know where he's talking about. I just can't remember the name of the place.
It's like it's right up the alleyway near that church.
I mean, we can move on. We get it.
Yeah.
It's a shady merchant alley place, whatever. All right, moving on.
It's an area as big as Boblia's kingdom.
Yeah, there's big stalls everywhere selling shit.
So yeah, right now, I mean, you guys have come in the morning. You're in a wagon. So the guards don't even really pay attention. You guys walk right in with the other wagons that are coming to trade and things like that, and just go into the city.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very nice city, and there's a very eclectic group of buildings, and some of the roofs are clay, and a few are thatched, but it's very well kept thatch. As you're going along, you see signs that are referring to the Drunken Jouster, which is like the biggest and best tavern in the entire city. There are other little taverns, but you see like signs referring people like, don't forget to come to the Drunken Jouster tonight. It's like poker night, and also there'll be a singer. And
Okay.
yeah.
I was gonna say, is there any place in particular where this kid didn't want to come home, right?
Neither one of them really wanted to go home, but if they were going to go home, they wanted to go together. So you guys decided to introduce her to his dad.
Ah.
So you're you're passing all kinds of people in the street, and it's kind of hustle and bustle. You guys have to basically park the wagon at some point and get out, and begin on foot your way towards the palace. I guess you could call it a palace. It's very humble for a palace. It is taller than Boblia's castle. It's nicer on the inside, but it looks humble on the outside. It's made of simple stone. As you're passing the Temple of the Radiant Shade, there's a lot of commotion out front. People are jostling you. You guys are in a bit of a crowd, and there's someone shouting in front of the Radiant Shade Temple that their teachings are they're not healing anymore, and they're going against Scripture.
They're going against script, as in like they're actively going against it, or it's just because they're unable to heal.
The people are yelling their grievances, and it's a bit of a shovey crowd. You get pushed rather hard, Reggie, and their people are basically saying that there's heathens and evil has gotten into the church, and they're undermining the scriptures. They're not staying true to the scriptures, and that there's no power in the words anymore, and they need new leadership in the temple, and like there's a bit of commotion out front.
Okay, I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna let them know. I'm gonna let the rest of everybody else know. Like, I'm gonna check this out.
Rosie, roll a wisdom check.
Okay. Mm, 22.
22.
Nice.
You realize something's different. Something just happened. You're not sure what it was. Something just happened.
Okay.
You didn't notice it when it happened,
Uh,
but you're thinking something just happened.
Something. I was gonna say something around me just changed.
You're thinking when someone pushed you really hard, they may have
You got
pickpocketed you.
robbed.
Yeah.
Hmm. So I'll feel around myself and. Wait, what the fuck could I have lost? The dagger?
Mm-hmm.
They take the dagger.
Yep. You lost its loyalty.
That's fine.
It betrayed
Uh,
Good in the end. Like the ring.
I mean, what is saying betrayed me?
No, not really. Not betrayed, but it did allow itself to get noticed and taken.
Done got took.
Hmm.
I'll just think to myself, well, he probably needed that more than I do. And I will literally let that person just get away with it, because it's one of those things where it's like,
Me?
for the person, for somebody to pickpocket you, they clearly at first would have need to learn this skill. So they were in a worse situation than probably I've been. So I'm not really going to lament the loss of
Reasonable
a
to
weapon that I
assume.
didn't use. Yeah. But I'm still going to go check out what's going on at the temple here. Now, whether the rest of the crew wants to come with me or go shuttle this kid to his dad.
Well, the doors are closed and locked right now, and you can see there's priests on the inside looking scared. A couple of them are a bit round about the middle, and and don't from a glance, don't look to be the most savory and righteous of persons anyway. And they have some guards stationed on the steps in front of the locked doors, trying to keep the peace. But the people are just upset. There's like about 24 individuals.
Who is this temple dedicated to?
The Temple of Radiant Shade. You can roll me a. You have something, some kind of knowledge, religion, or anything like that.
I mean, I would assume I was gonna say, I'd assume I'd have knowledge of religion of something.
Yeah, somebody roll something, and you can kind of get an idea.
I'll roll. And probably don't get, well, that's a 16 actually. Yeah.
It looks like a lot of the emplacements, like things for the statues and the inlays, were made specifically to be for Peller and for the light. But they've had somebody else redo them recently, and the iconography is strange. Like, it's a lot of horned figures. Some of the figures have sharpened teeth. It's symbols that don't make sense when you're a worshiper of Peller. It's something dark, but you don't know what it is. You have no memory of it. And, wink, wink, neither do the damn clerics in there. they tried to change their temple, and then they forgot their new dark god. He ceased to exist or have power in this place, and they have no memory of him. So this is one big clusterfuck for this temple right now.
they were halfway through construction and
Right.
lost the plans.
So,
Huh.
yeah, you guys have a bit of an inside knowledge of what's going on here. Like the words, they're changing scripture, and the people were okay with it at first because they were still being able to like heal and stuff. But now these new scriptures don't have any power, and they want new leadership in the church. They think they've brought evil in the church, and that's why the things aren't working. They're partially right. You know, their new god was working for a while, but
Mhm.
now that God has no power in this place, so the people are upset. It was also recently renamed. It was the Temple of Radiance. Now it's the Temple of Radiant Shade. It's dedicated to the brilliance of the darkness, the blinding void. So these guys.
I guess I would
yeah.
I'm gonna tap like the furthest person in the crowd. I'll tap on their shoulder and ask them to explain to me like what everybody's all pissy about. Because like I understand at this point that they're halfway through reconstruction and completely fucking forgot what they're doing. But it's what's with the rally in front of it.
He looks at you and first he's a little shocked. Roll a disguise check.
Okay. Put that.
So he
And-
thinks
yeah,
he's talking
and
to a
I at
person.
least went with.
Yeah, I went with the
God damn it! I can never remember your
kid.
character's name.
Good times.
What? Good?
Goud. Dude.
Gavin?
That's right. Yeah, I'm just gonna stick to Snaky.
That's what Paul calls him, Mr. Snake Man.
There we go. There it is.
Snakes. That's what you call them.
19. 24.
Snake Eyes. Yeah.
Okay.
Snaky.
Yeah, he like looks at you for just a second and then blinks and and he says, "Man, I tell you what I heard is that the prince, he done been diddled by the priest here, and the gods don't like that, and then they started worshiping Satan, and I heard, now this is just what I heard, mind you, I heard they done sacrificed that their princess over at Bob's kingdom over there, and this guy is he's probably the most peasantry individual in the crowd, and he's trying to explain superstition and things that he's heard.
Yeah.
He thinks the priests are pedophiles, and that's why the gods have turned against them, and that they've been diddling Prince Benji, and also they sacrificed the princess. That there was that they summoned some kind of horned demon in fancy clothing to sacrifice the princess. And this is just rumors and stuff that's been spreading around the kingdom, and he's convinced it's these guys that have done all this.
Well, you do understand how fanciful that sounds, don't you?
He kind of stands a little taller. He said, "Well, I thank you. I've been working on my words. I do say my speech is getting better and better."
Yes. Yes. Well, thank you for the summary. And,
And yeah,
I'm going
and,
to go this way.
and Gronjar has like no social grace, so he's probably standing there like snickering and like quietly laughing. But yeah, he'll kind of like turn his head, turn it into a cough. But I straight up laugh at this. Especially like the rumors about the prince. He'll look over at the prince and be like,
Oh, I thought I was thinking the
Benji's
prince-
face.
princess.
Benji, you look over at Benji, and his face is. He gives you this look like. Yeah.
"Kill me now."
He gives you the look like. You know the meme like, it's true.
Oh shit!
Yeah. And you see he's staring daggers at those doors. It's like part of what you're hearing is true. And you have a feeling you know which part.
Well, considering the princess from the other kingdom is with us right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, she obviously wasn't sacrificed, so yeah.
And you know they didn't summon Rawl. So
Oh fuck.
yeah. It's part of the reason he's wanted to leave the kingdom.
Yeah, I was gonna say
It's a lot of reasons.
why you want to leave.
Yeah. I mean it's a nice place, but he has a lot of personal reasons why he wants to get the fuck out of here.
Oh yeah.
So, let me know if you want to stay here any longer. Take a.
Oh yeah.
You take the other turn and go to the Drunken Jouster, or else try and go speak to the king at the palace.
Actually, I want to get inside and talk to the priests.
Okay. Well, I've sent.
Which means I'd have to go up to the guards at the door and then convince them, because I really don't want to use my abilities and spells yet, convince them to let me in.
Well, you start to head that way, and Benji like grabs your arm. It's like, hey, I can't do this today. I don't want you to do this today. There's enough going on right now.
You seem to have in mind an idea of what I am planning to do. Care to share that with me?
Seems like you want to go talk to that fucking rapist who calls himself a priest. I'd rather you not. Not today.
And what is your plan?
I gotta go talk to my dad, good. I've had a hell of a time.
Alright, fine. I'll I'll fully turn around to him and go,
Fine. We shall see your father.
And he's standing there staring at the door. And he like shakes himself
you
out of it,
do.
you know.
You do understand I will be back here. Even if it is of my own. Because this clearly needs fixing.
He like looks at you, like backs up a little bit. He doesn't take a step away, but kind of like a small motion of the head, like, you? Good, you think you can you fix this?
Where there is a will, there is a way.
He's shaking his head up and down. One thing at a time. Let's get this over. He starts walking toward. It's like 3 or 4 blocks, and then you're basically coming up to the big set of steps that go up to the palace entrance. Which by then, you know, you've walked up it's a very slow incline. You basically walked up a little more than a story, and so the palace is one story, but it's 2 floors above everything else nearby. It just looks a little bigger and impressive. It's got it's got a gold-looking facade on the top with rounded edges, kind of looking like bowls. It's very similar to the Sultan's Palace in Aladdin, but not as many towers. Like, these things just aren't as big. There's just not as much room to have such a grand palace. These kingdoms are just not that large to have something as extravagant as that.
Okay.
But you see Benji come up to the guards, and they stop him. And he's giving them, talking to them for a minute. And he comes back and
Attention, citizens.
tells you guys that
Imminent
that he's not allowed to see his father today.
at your earliest convenience. Thank you for your cooperation.
Does he not live here?
He runs his fingers through his hair, he's like, my father's, he's a busy man, and, apparently, there's a lot going on right now, and he's too busy to see me, and you can see Benji's, like, very upset about this. And, then someone comes rushing down the stairs, and it's a person that's, it's a woman in a kimono. It's a very, very expensive looking kimono, and she rushes down and eases the guards' weapons by. She doesn't say anything to them, just barely touches them and like pushes them aside, and comes down to him and says, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Benji. We did not expect you today. Your father is very busy. Is that a princess? You found her. Oh my," and she's like patting her forehead. "Oh my, we have representatives of King Bablia here right now. He thinks we have her. Look, you guys lay low, go to the drunken jouster. I'll send word. They'll be waiting for you. Just, keep her safe." She looks at the rest of the party. "Can you trust them? Can they keep her safe? Is everything okay?"
Excuse me one moment, ma'am. If there's a meeting going on about the whereabouts of this young lady, shouldn't this young lady present herself as uninjured and alive?
She stands there for just a moment, patiently, while you're finishing. And then she says, "Who is this person speaking to me as though they knew who I am and I needed that advice?" And she doesn't look to you in the eyes. She's looking at Benji. And Benji's like, kind of like edges you back with an arm, He pushes y'all back and has a bit of a silent conversation with her. If somebody wants to try and overhear, they can. You can roll me a listen check. But after a minute, he does come back and say, "Look, guys, let's just not make any waves right now. A lot's going on in my city. This is why I wanted to get the fuck out of here. But the Drunken Jouster,
Much, Stephen.
the Drunken Jouster is a great place, and
Yeah,
Let's
so
go.
who's this bitch that's telling the
Okay,
prince of the
that's
kingdom?
that's
what to do?
Julie. That's Julie.
This,
He-
this
And I say that out loud.
Yeah. Where she can hear you, probably. She's slowly like
She's-
turning
she's
around
gonna
and walking
force
I mean,
my
I'm
hand.
not trying to.
upstairs.
I'm not trying to be quiet about it. It's like conversational tone. If she overhears,
Yeah.
she overhears.
Benji says, Yeah, that's my dad's main secretary. She's very competent. He looks at you like with a resigned sort of like she's good. She's good. She's a bit of a bitch.
Alright,
You're
she
right.
looks like she's got those DSL.
She's very good at what she does, and she's been loyal to my family for many years. She's the one person around here who will tell me the truth and not give me the bullshit spin run around. Like, I'm a fucking royal. You know, he's like looking you in the eye like I'm a fucking I'm a grown man.
Okay, is
I'm gonna
she
be king
is
one
she still
day.
there?
She's begun to walk back. She's about halfway up the steps now, but she's going slow. Like you can tell it's like she's going extra slow to try and listen to what you guys might say about her.
I've got an idea. I'm gonna walk up to the guards and go,
Ma'am, I meant no disrespect, but
and I'm hoping at this point she turns around and looks at me.
She's stopped walking. You can see the side of her cheek, like she's barely tilted her head, in your direction.
clearly we have gotten off on the wrong foot. Now,
She takes a step.
as
Can I see her? Like, can I see her eyes yet?
No, she stopped walking, but you're not getting to the point, and she took another step.
if you were truly as good as you are
She snaps back
son here is
around.
claiming to be,
She snaps
Perfect,
back around
that
and
is
starts
exactly what I
starts
want.
wagging her finger at you. Good has nothing to do with it. Now you listen to me.
Charm person. I wanted to be able to look her in the eyes so I could charm her.
Oh shit.
Is that a racial ability or like
Yup.
a healer spell?
It is a
Okay.
racial ability of the auntie.
All right. Let's look at our DC here. Hang on. Do you know it offhand?
Ah, no.
Charm person's a first level spell. Spell like abilities. Usually use your charisma modifier for the DC. So
Yeah, it's first level.
plus
First level everything basically, except for a couple of things. Oh, let's see. All right. At the moment, she is trying to think. She was halfway up the stairs from you, and the stairs are at least 75 feet from start to finish. You're on the other side of the guards. She might be right outside of range, but you've got her attention, okay? What else are you going to say
Okay.
to her? She's like, good has nothing to do with it.
then mayhaps if you wanted the true recognition that you are worthy of, you would bring this young man and this young woman to their respective peoples. And say that you have discovered their whereabouts and were able to bring them back.
yeah. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Trying to take credit.
She like straightens her kimono, kind of like dusts. There's nothing on it, of course. She's like just dusting nothing that's there. You obviously have no idea about royal protocol. I cannot simply march the princess in there with the ambassador from Boblia's kingdom. It will be as all of basically admitting that we've had her this entire time, and no story you give them will change that. No. I need you to go right now to the prancing pony. Oh shit, I'm sorry. that's in the Dragonlance. And the drunken jouster.
But if we go now,
And she points that
Wouldn't
direction.
wouldn't that also lead credence to the fact that she has been in your kingdom for some time then?
No. And she like dusts off her thighs now and straightens her thing. I shall take care of that much, personally. And she gives you an appraising look up and down. But I
Well,
think
perhaps you would
Mr.
prefer
Snake
to...
person. I thank you. You can tell she saw past the disguise from the beginning.
Can I? Okay.
She
I'm
begins to
assuming
turn
she's-
around.
Wait, what about the charm?
She was
No,
just out of
out
range because of the distance and the fact that he's on the other side of these guards that prevent it. If he had gotten to the foot of the stairs, he'd have been in range. But they're preventing him from. It's like a 10-foot perimeter, and then the foot of the stairs, and then the stairs are like a 75-foot incline. So he has to be
Damn.
25 feet plus 5 feet per 2 levels. So he's just
as
not
she's
not
going to
quite within range.
start to leave. I mean, this last part, out of game is a desperate attempt. I'm gonna hold out my hand and say,
Then may I congratulate you on doing your duty, and a job well done.
She slightly turns back, says, "Yes, thank you," and slightly nods, and you feel a mage hand grip and shake yours. And she walks up the stairs.
Yeah.
"Damn it!"
It's a good try, though. But yeah, she's got some wizardry levels.
Hmm.
She didn't come from the school she was sent for from far away. She's a foreign wizard dignitary who helps the king.
Then I'm going to back. All right, I'll back off, and then I'll tell my snakes to go find their food. Like I'll walk
Oh,
off
yeah.
to out of sight from the guards, and
Go eat her.
no, basically tell them to look for their food in the castle.
Oh, okay. Any other
Yeah.
any other sort of order you want to give them while they're in the castle? Just look for food.
Look for their food. Like I know that it's a
You know
snake.
they-
It's
they-
a tiny snake. It's not limited in
they-
they're limited intelligence.
They brought you something before.
Yeah.
And it was something. It
I
wasn't
don't want them to
exactly,
steal shit from me.
Oh, I mean,
I mean, how intelligent are these snakes? Are they typical snakes?
Not
Like 3
anymore.
intelligence?
not anymore. They were given extra abilities from the spell, and then Reggie charmed them and basically like locked in a bit of those powers, but their allegiance is to him.
Okay, so treat them as animal companions?
Sort of, yeah. You can name them. One's a girl, one's a boy. I was gonna call them George and Martha, but that's whatever. That's just like those are filler names. Call them whatever you want.
Yeah, I'll come up with some
Yeah.
names later.
Cat.
I'll tell them to hunt for their food and tell me of anything special
Hmm.
that you see, like the thing they brought me before.
Interesting. Okay.
And then I'll set them off. Let them do their snaky thing.
Interesting instructions. Okay. Is there anything anyone else wants to do while you're here very close to the castle, you're within like 100 feet of the castle doors. You just can't get that far right now, not even the prince. There's a lot of things going on. And there's extra security precautions.
No, I don't have any like scouting or reconnaissance type of stuff.
You awake, Steven?
I don't think. Like, sorta, kinda.
All right. Well, the only other thing was the drunken jouster, which I really don't want Spinal to miss.
Yeah,
That's
I was
the-
gonna say
yeah.
before we get into anything else major, since Steven's fatalism is
He's getting tired.
like
and
having
Spinal's
trouble
gone.
staying awake,
Yeah.
and yeah, I was gonna suggest we basically call it for the night.
Yeah, the drunken jouster is up ahead, and then in the morning. So basically, you guys are going to find out that the ambassadors from Boblia's kingdom have been told that there was a clandestine rescue attempt, and that it was successful, and that they have, against great odds, rescued the princess against evil and such. And they don't even know the story. They just came up with some shit, but it really fit. And basically decided to hold a parade in the hero's honor. And it's like, even though they don't know the full story, they're doing this just for like optics and for peace between kingdoms. And also she threw in there, and the prince and princess have agreed to marry and for the kingdoms to unite. And they, of course, they haven't agreed to that, but this whole thing is going to be
See, that's
pushed.
the voluntold that I was talking
Right.
about.
Yeah. Yeah. But then there's going to be, the announcement that there's going to be a big parade through the city, and that special consideration is going to be given to the fish merchants who can make tacos, because apparently that's Benji's favorite thing, has been since he was a kid. And the big competition will be for jousting, because that was King Boblia's specialty when he was a young man, when the kingdoms were at peace before he was. And by the way, I don't know if I've told you, but Boblia himself is he's loosely based off of Dr. Disrespect. So he's
Yep.
the one that started the Mustache Men with their particular, attitude and persona. So, and he would be the first one to say that he's the two-time jousting champion of these here kingdoms. And you will show him your respect, So there's this big parade, big celebration, and you guys, you'll hear about this at some point, but we'll stop the session there and get ready for the drunken jouster, and then the drunken jouster in the evening, and then with waking up to all the hangovers, and then a big parade, and all the knights are coming through, and things are in your honor, and you guys there'll be a lot of stuff happening. So, yay.
Huzzah.
Huzzah! What's up, TK?
I'd be down for 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut the stream